All right, it's Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. So, to review what we did Monday and Tuesday, we went over plot and characters. And remember, your characters can be people, animals, objects, anything that's in the story that plays a role in the story. And then the characters are the ones that follow the plot line. So they're the ones that have the conflict, or they're the ones we're introduced to in the resolution. In the exposition. And then we wrap up their loose ends in the resolution. Excuse me for misspeaking. So today we're going to talk about conflict, and conflict is just a fancy word for problem. So during our SEL lessons on Fridays, we talked a lot about conflict resolution, and that was just solving problems. So there are 4 main types of conflict that every story will have, and they will fit into one of these categories, okay? So the types of conflict. And then up here again, like I just said, I want to reiterate, conflict is just a fancy word for, I hope you're all saying problem. I really don't like this remote where I can't hear what you're saying. So a very common one, especially in younger literature, books that we read when we're younger kids, is person versus person. So this is the character has a problem with another character. So a 7th grader is picking on me at lunch. That could be an example. Let's use Wonder since we've all read that. Together in Wonder, Julian was making fun of Augie. That's person versus person. It's very basic. Okay, then we have person versus nature. A lot of our I Survived books, that's like on the back left of my library, a lot of those I Survived books are going to be your person versus nature. So it's where the character faces a force of nature beyond his or her control. So here's an example. Mom's car slid off the road in a blizzard. We must stay warm until we can be rescued. So the car slid off the road. They have to shut the car off, right? Save gas. And so they're sitting there freezing. The problem was the weather. Can they control the weather? No. So person versus nature. Okay, and then I'm going to jump down here to person versus society. So this is like an argument or a problem between the character and then like beliefs or values of everybody else. So the character faces an unfairness in society or struggles with the laws, beliefs, or values of a group. Rosa Parks, that conflict was person versus society. She was facing an unjust law. So, I want to play football, but everyone keeps telling me it isn't for girls. So, the value here is that girls can't play football. The problem is that this person wants to play football. There's not just one person or one character in the story saying you can't play on the football team. That's kind of, in our world, that's the belief, is that there's not girls football. And then the last one I did in blue, because this is a conflict within yourself. Person versus self, okay? And the character faces a struggle within himself or herself, or they often are faced with a difficult choice to make. So I want to run for class president, but I'm scared to give a speech. That's going to be person versus self. Augie's was that he had to go to 5th grade for the first time with Wonder. So that's person versus self. He struggled internally with going to school for the very first time. So these are the 4 main types of conflict that you will find on NWEA, and I've seen it. You will read a passage and it will say, what type of conflict was this? I don't want you to look at it and say, I don't know, it's a conflict. Yes, it is. All of these are conflicts. But now as we're getting into the older grades, we want to break it down and figure out which conflict it actually is. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up if you need to hit pause so you can view this. This will help you on MobyMax. And then you know the drill. MobyMax today's assignment is conflict. I will be available on Zoom. Text me, email me, or call me if you need help outside of those hours. Thank you.